Marjorie Taylor Greene is continuing to air out all of the GOP's dirty laundry. And boy, do they have some dirty laundry. Here she reveals that she had a phone call where she started yelling at Mike Johnson for still not having a plan on healthcare. Sure, take issue with Democrats all you want, MAGA, that they're not agreeing to fund the government until they get healthcare concessions, but at least they have concessions they want to get on healthcare to improve the state of things. The Republicans are saying, no, we won't do that, but they don't have an alternative plan, and they should admit that there's a crisis. There's a major crisis. And so this is Marjorie revealing the call that she had with Mike Johnson.
Historically, you would say, okay, Democrats have the upper hand going into this, but Republicans would be the ones handing Democrats the victory by not passing our agenda. And the fact that the House has been closed for 6 weeks now is a complete and total, utter failure. And that's on the Speaker of the House. While the rest of America is going to work every single day, you're going to work, people in this building are going to work. Mike Johnson is telling us to stay home and not do our job.
She just dropped the hard R with Mike Johnson. Did she just turn Mike into a slur?
We're going to work. People in this building are going to work. Mike Johnson is telling us to stay home and not do our job.
So what does Mike Johnson...
No, it's Micah. Come on. It's right there. It's right there.
Like, if you were to be able to talk to Mike Johnson right now, you would tell him what?
Tell him the same thing I told him last week, and I yelled at him on the phone on our GOP conference call.
What'd you say?
Where is our health care plan? It's non-existent. Democrats created this problem years ago, but Republicans have never fixed it. And I said we need to be back at work, and not being in session is basically pathetic.
What did he say to you?
He gave me the same talking points he gives.
Democrats didn't create the problem. They minorly improved the problem, but didn't solve it enough, and Republicans just made it worse. That's the real telling of the story. So blame Democrats for not doing enough, sure, but they made at least modest improvements. Republicans' recent record is just taking away health insurance. But she said she yelled at him. That's cool. I'd love to see that. I wish she would leak that audio, because I can't imagine Mike Johnson getting yelled at. He gives me the energy of someone who gets yelled at a lot, like by his son and his daughter and his wife. Like, everyone just kind of takes out their anger on Miker. And then you have this.
Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader Thune, and Vice President J.D. Vance, they all downplayed the election results, disputing that this is a broader wake-up call for your party. Are they wrong?
I don't think they should downplay it. I'm from Georgia, and we lost two very important public service commission seats that were statewide races in the state of Georgia. I think that should be a big wake-up call to my home state. We've got the entire slate coming up in 2026 with governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, and John Ossoff's Senate seat is up for election. So I think it's a major wake-up call, as well as other down-ballot races in like Pennsylvania and Mississippi.
Yeah. Even in those states, you saw shifts in the blue direction and seats being flipped that were deep red. We talked about that with Mississippi. It's a really, really big deal what happened on Tuesday. And Marjorie is one of the only Republicans, I guess, acknowledging that. And we've discussed she has her own reasons. Apparently, she's on a retribution tour because Trump shut down her idea to run for office. And her form of retribution is just not being as crazy as she used to be. I guess that's how you make Trump mad. You're like, hey, I'm going to pretend like I care about the American people now. Suck on that. So that's kind of the situation she's in. But hey, keep calling him out, Marge. Then this on Trump saying groceries are down.
When the president says there's virtually no inflation and that grocery prices are going down, do you agree with him on that?
No, I go to the grocery store myself. Grocery prices remain high. Energy prices are high. My electricity bills are higher here in Washington, D.C. at my apartment, and they're also higher at my house in Rome, Georgia, higher than they were a year ago.
Hey, Marjorie, do you know one of the reasons why that is? Is because of Trump's assault on renewable energy. And I feel like I've heard you do the same thing. I feel like I've heard Marjorie windmill rants too. Nothing like Trump's windmill rants. Nothing about the whales being batty. But you definitely play into that all these renewable energy projects are just liberals glossing themselves, to use a a Ben Shapiro term.
So affordability is a problem, and I'm a mom. My kids are 22, 26, and 28. That's the generation I worry about the most, and they're having a very hard time. But
Before I show you this next clip, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. Very simple, but it helps to get the message out that we deliver on the show. Now, this part's interesting, what I have for you next, which is Marjorie getting asked about Nancy Pelosi, who is retiring after many decades in Congress and has a very historic career, obviously, Nancy Pelosi does. And Marjorie once liked a comment of someone saying, let's shoot Nancy Pelosi in the head. She has called Nancy Pelosi every single name under the sun. She has been an enemy of Nancy Pelosi. And I'm going to now show you Marjorie Taylor Greene being nice to Nancy Pelosi. Then I'm going to compare that to Trump's reaction to Nancy Pelosi retiring.
However, I will praise Nancy Pelosi. She had an incredible career for her party. I served under her speakership in my first term of Congress, and I'm very impressed at her ability to get things done. I wish we could get things done for our party like Nancy Pelosi was able to deliver for her party. So I wish her well in her retirement.
Again, in their world, that's how you piss off Trump. You just act kind of nice sometimes to liberals. And that's how you get your retribution. So then Trump got asked at the end of a presser about Nancy Pelosi retiring.
Any statement on Dick Cheney or Nancy Pelosi's retirement? Thank you, press.
About Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi's retirement.
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country.
And on Dick Cheney?
I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the...
Okay, so just sort of a message of unity, of sort of common recognition of a storied career. But in all fairness to Trump, Nancy had just said this about him.
He's just a vile creature. The worst thing on the face of the earth. But anyway.
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do, yeah. I do.
Why is that?
That's something else. It is just something else. Now, we do have breaking news coming in here as we're recording. This is big. Let me get a confirmation. Do we have it? We have the confirmation. Do we have the second confirmation? We got the second confirmation. Do we have the third confirmation? We have the third confirmation. The sandwich guy has been found not guilty. You remember that guy who, when the National Guard went into D.C., was drunk and like threw a sandwich at a officer? And then Jeanine Pirro was like, well, we're going to show him and where he can put the sandwich right up his ass or something like that. And then they charged him with a felony, and then I think it had to be downgraded. There's the video right there. Wow. And then the officer was testifying and said he could feel the power of the sandwich pounding his ballistic vest, rattling his body, the smell of the fumes of ammunition, mustard, tomatoes, bacon, which are all down, by the way. They call it groceries. Now, of course, you shouldn't throw sandwiches at officers. That's bad. But them trying to make a whole assault case out of it was a little tough, and it didn't go well.
Huge smiles and signs of relief from the so-called D.C. sandwich guy and his legal team as a jury found him not guilty of misdemeanor assault. Now, Sean Dunn had become something of a cult hero and a symbol of the resistance to the Trump administration. Images of him throwing that sandwich could be seen on T-shirts and buildings throughout D.C. over the past few months. Now, this all stemmed from an incident back in...
Here's what I'm thinking. Now this guy's out on the streets. So warn your children, your sons, your daughters, that as they walk around on the streets of Washington, D.C., dangerous criminals like the sandwich guy could be around the corner. You could be having a nice ice cream cone and the sandwich guy could emerge from the alleyway. Have pepper spray in case the sandwich is a little bland and you need to add some pepper to it. And that makes me afraid. I just want to say that. That is today's show, and I just want to pose a little question. Was that a good show?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is charismatic.
Oh, thank you.